Naoya Ina. In December 2023, Naoya Ina became the first male boxer in history to unify two separate weight classes in the four-belt era. After steamrolling Stephen Fulton in July, he returned 5 months later to dismantle Marlon Topalas and claim undisputed status at 122 pounds. That put him at 30-0 with 27 knockouts, and not a single fight that's looked close in years. He's won world titles in 4 weight classes, unified in 3, and gone undisputed in 2. He's not just stacking belts, he's cleaning out divisions, and doing it in devastating fashion. His fights rarely go the distance, and his power translates at every level. Before moving up, he held the undisputed bantamweight crown, where he wiped out Nonito Donaire in 2 rounds in their rematch and crushed Paul Butler to unify all 4 belts. In Japan, he's already a national icon. In the US, he's sold out venues in Vegas and LA. Every time he fights, there's this eerie sense of certainty, not if he'll win, but when the other guy will fold. Critics once said he hadn't faced elite competition. Now he's knocking champions off the list one by one. He's 31 years old, undefeated, and already being talked about in all-time conversations, and he's not done yet. Terence Crawford. In July 2023, Crawford dominated Errol Spence Jr. in a historic showdown to become the first male boxer to go undisputed in 2 weight classes during the four-belt era. He dropped Spence 3 times and stopped him in the 9th round, handing Spence his first loss and taking the WBA, WBC, and IBF belts to add to his own WBO strap. That win moved Crawford to 40-0 with 31 knockouts. Before unifying at welterweight, he'd already gone undisputed at 140, collecting all 4 belts in 2017 after knocking out Julius Ndongo. Add in a title reign at lightweight, and Crawford is now a 3-division champion with unification in 2 of them. He's a switch hitter with elite timing, pinpoint accuracy, and a finishing instinct that's made him one of the sport's most complete fighters. Even at 37, he's avoided punishment and looks as sharp as ever. His KO streak stands at 11 straight, all in world title fights. He's now chasing legacy fights at 154 and beyond, with names like Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez floating in the mix. He's collected belts, defended them, unified them, and left no doubt in the process. Pound-for-pound debates start with his name for a reason. Alexander Usyk. Only one man has ever unified all 4 cruiserweight titles and then done the same at heavyweight, and he just beat Tyson Fury to make that happen. After 12 rounds of high-stakes chess and brutal exchanges, he left with the WC belt and undisputed status, the first to do it in the 4-belt heavyweight era. The win added to a resume already stacked with accomplishments: Olympic gold in 2012, a perfect run through the World Boxing Super Series at cruiserweight, clean sweeps of fighters like Gassiv, Briedis, and Bellew, all on their home turf. Then he moved up, outboxed Anthony Joshua twice, and stood toe-to-toe with Fury in a heavyweight war that could have gone either way. He's 22-0 with a style that blends footwork, feints, and relentless pressure. Despite giving up size in nearly every fight, he controls distance better than most big men ever could. His stamina is elite, and his ring IQ is world-class. No trash talk, no theatrics, just wins. In an era of split belts and avoided mandatories, he's unified 2 divisions with a perfect record. Few fighters have taken harder roads, and no one's duplicated his path. He's done more with less and ended up on top of 2 of boxing's most brutal divisions. Canelo Alvarez. 4 divisions, dozens of fights, and still headlining the biggest stages in boxing. Canelo Alvarez has done what most fighters dream of, and then stayed at the top for over a decade. In 2021, he became the first undisputed super middleweight champion in history, collecting all 4 belts at 168 by stopping Caleb Plant in Las Vegas. Since then, he's defended the crown multiple times against names like John Ryder and Jaime Munguia, while constantly fielding pressure to face David Benavidez. His lone setback in recent years came against Dimitri Bivol in 2022 at light heavyweight, but it didn't slow his momentum. He returned to defend his undisputed titles and remained the top draw in the sport. With over 60 professional fights, Canelo has beaten world champions across 4 weight classes, including Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev, Miguel Cotto, and Daniel Jacobs. He's known for punishing body shots, sharp counters, and elite composure in high-pressure moments. Beyond the ring, his influence stretches globally. He's sold out stadiums in Mexico and in the U.S., holds massive endorsement deals, and remains boxing's most bankable star. At 34, he's still a unified champion, still calling his own shots and still forcing the next generation to come through him first. Gervonta Davis. One punch can end the night. When he loads up, crowds hold their breath. Gervonta Davis owns one of the highest knockout rates among active champions. With 29 wins and 27 coming by stoppage, he doesn't just win, he leaves opponents wrecked and confused. In April 2023, he delivered one of the biggest moments in recent boxing history, dropping Ryan Garcia with a brutal body shot and stopping him in the 7th round. The fight sold over 1.2 million pay-per-views and filled the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. That win catapulted Tank into full-blown superstardom. He's held world titles across 3 weight classes, 130, 135, and 140, and he's beaten names like Leo Santa Cruz, Mario Barrios, and Isaac Cruz. His power translates no matter the division, and his ability to time counters makes him dangerous even when he looks inactive. Despite criticism for not unifying titles, his star power keeps growing. He draws sellout crowds in Brooklyn, Atlanta, and LA. His fights trend globally, and every opponent knows one clean shot can flip the script instantly. At 29, he's unbeaten, explosive, and unpredictable. Few fighters bring excitement like Tank, and even fewer are willing to risk finding out how much damage he can do when he lands clean. Shakur Stevenson. Opponents land less than 15% of their punches against him, the lowest in boxing today. Shakur Stevenson doesn't overwhelm with power, but with precision, patience, and control. He makes elite fighters look hesitant, confused, and frustrated. In 2023, he captured the WBC lightweight title against Edwin De Los Santos in a tactical shutout that drew criticism for being uneventful. But on paper, it was dominance. Before that, he held titles at 126 and 130, including a statement win over Oscar Valdez, where he unified belts and controlled nearly every round. He's 21-0 with a style built around distance management, defensive mastery, and counter-punching IQ. Fans may not always enjoy his low-risk approach, but coaches and analysts rank him among the sharpest fighters in the sport. His footwork is surgical. His reads are instant. Now in his 3rd weight class, Shakur is eyeing unification or a potential move up to 140, where names like Haney, Teofimo, and even Tank could be on the table. He's only 27, already a 3-division champion, and hasn't lost a round in years. Some fighters brawl, some blast, and some simply make sure they never give you a chance. He's built to win, even if you don't notice how easily he's doing it. Devin Haney. One of the youngest undisputed champions in boxing history, Devin Haney unified all 4 lightweight titles at just 23 years old. He traveled to Australia twice in 2022, beat George Kambosos twice, and silenced the doubters who questioned whether he is ready for that level. After cleaning out 135, he moved up to 140 and dominated Regis Prograis in December 2023 to claim the WBC super lightweight title. He shut out one of the division's most dangerous punchers and looked even sharper at the higher weight. He's 31-1 with a skill set built on discipline, a sharp jab, tight defense, and masterful ring control. His fights often go the distance, but he rarely loses rounds. He's not flashy and he doesn't chase knockouts, but his control of pace and space is among the best in boxing. In April 2024, he suffered his first professional loss, a controversial majority decision against Ryan Garcia. The bout featured multiple knockdowns and wild momentum swings, but since Garcia missed weight, Haney kept his WBC title. Still only 26, he's already been undisputed, headlined PPVs, and defended titles across divisions. Vasily Lomachenko, 3-weight world champion, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and still handing out master classes at 36. Lomachenko's footwork, angles, and timing made him a problem from the moment he turned pro, and even now he's showing there's plenty left. In May 2024, he captured the vacant IBF lightweight title by stopping George Kambosos in the 11th round. It was his first world title since 2020, and a major comeback after a narrow loss to Devin Haney the year before, a fight many felt he edged. The win put him back into the mix at 135. His resume includes wins over Gary Russell Jr., Jorge Linares, Nicholas Walters, and Luke Campbell. He once held 3 lightweight belts at the same time and was considered pound-for-pound #1 during his peak run between 2017 and 2019. At 18-3, his record doesn't tell the full story. He won a world title in his 3rd fight, avenged an early loss with ease, and has consistently faced top-level competition. He's respected by purists for his technical brilliance and admired by fighters who've struggled to solve him in real time. Arrhythmia Betterbe. Every opponent has hit the canvas. Every fight is ended early. Arrhythmia Betterbe is 20-0 with 20 knockouts, the only current world champion with a 100% KO rate. He doesn't box to outpoint, he breaks people. He currently holds the WBC, IBF, and WBO light heavyweight titles, making him the most dominant force at 175. His most recent wins including stopping Anthony Yarde in a brutal war and flattening Joe Smith Jr. inside 2 rounds in a unification fight. The power's obvious, but what makes him more dangerous is how calculated he is. He's not wild. He cuts the ring with precision, closes distance, and explodes when the timing is right. Even opponents who win rounds can't survive 12 with him. Originally from Russia and now based in Canada, he's built a quiet storm of fear around his name. He rarely speaks in the press, doesn't chase the spotlight, and still finds himself headlining major cards because fans know exactly what they're going to get: violence. With just one belt standing between him and undisputed status, the boxing world's waiting on the long-delayed clash with Dmitry Bivol. When that bell rings, history says there's only one likely outcome. Someone gets stopped. Dmitry Bivol. He outclassed Canelo Alvarez over 12 rounds and barely broke a sweat doing it. That single win in May 2022 changed the public's perception overnight. He went from respected technician to one of the most avoided champions in the sport. He's 22-0, and while his knockout rate is low compared to the others at 175, his control is elite. Opponents struggle to find openings. His footwork, patience, and timing neutralize power punchers before they get a chance to load up. He's defended his WBA light heavyweight title successfully for over 5 years, including wins against Joe Smith Jr., Gilberto Ramirez, and Jean Pascal. He doesn't rely on chaos. He keeps his guard tight, works behind a consistent jab, and adjusts mid-round with machine-like precision. Trainers praise his discipline. Casuals sometimes underestimate him. But elite fighters know, if you step in with Bivol, you're playing chess with a guy who's already 6 moves ahead. Now all eyes are on the long-awaited, undisputed showdown with Arrhythmia Betterbe. Stylistically, it's one of the most intriguing matchups in boxing. Power versus control. Chaos versus calm. And if Bivol wins that, his case as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters of this era will be undeniable. Jiren Boots. When a fighter moves like a welterweight, hits like a middleweight, and switches stances mid-combo, you're watching Jiren Boots. At 32-0 with 29 knockouts, he's already being called the future of the division and maybe the sport. His breakout came in 2022 when he dismantled Custio Clayton in 2 rounds. Since then, he's racked up highlight reel knockouts and dominated rounds without losing composure. In July 2024, he flattened David Avanesyan with a single right hand in round 4, the kind of KO that reminded people exactly how dangerous he is. Boots holds the IBF interim welterweight title and is in line to be elevated to full champion status, depending on Terence Crawford's next move. At 5'10" with freakish athleticism, his toolbox is deep. Sharp jab, tight counters, creative combinations, and the rare ability to fight equally well from orthodox and southpaw. Critics have called for him to face a top-tier name. He's been calling for all of them. Whether it's Spence, Crawford, or Stanionis, he's ready and the rest of the division knows it. He's 26, undefeated, and already boxing with the confidence of a veteran. Every time he steps into the ring, it looks like he's testing new weapons. And so far, no one's had the answer. Sayimo Lopez. Sayimo Lopez outpointed Vasily Lomachenko in 2020. He didn't just win 3 world titles. He shook up the lightweight hierarchy and introduced himself as a generational talent. Since then, it's been a wild ride. A shock loss to George Kambosos derailed his momentum, followed by a short-lived retirement announcement. But in June 2023, Lopez stormed back with one of the best performances of his career, dominating Josh Taylor to win the WBO junior welterweight title and become a 2-division champion before turning 26. His record stands at 20-1 with explosive wins, viral moments, and unpredictable energy. He fights with swagger, loads up on lead hooks, and taunts opponents mid-round. Inside the ropes, he's a highlight reel waiting to happen. Outside of it, he's one of boxing's most polarizing voices, and he leans into it. Love him or not, his resume speaks loudly. He's beaten Lomachenko, Taylor, Richard Kami, and Masayoshi Nakatani. He sold out venues in New York, pulled ratings on ESPN, and created drama every step of the way. Still only 27, he's dangerous, unpredictable, and loaded with talent. When he's focused, few fighters can match his blend of speed, power, and fire. He's just getting started. Truly, these fighters have conquered divisions, made history, and left bodies on the canvas. But which one is truly built to rule the next era of boxing? Is the future already in the ring, or is the next king still waiting for his shot? Share your thoughts in the comments section below as you leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this.